Dublin-Kerry stands like a giant as the biggest rivalry in Irish sport. The emotional power that drives it forward is founded on the simplest things. The subtle connections forged by sharing Gaelic football's biggest stages, the family ties and the stories that bind Dublin and Kerry through the years. One generation always gently nudging the next one forward. Think of the story of the late Brian Mullins, forever an icon of all Dublin aspired to be as a footballing nation.
Dublin had a loss today, I was going to give up, but maybe one today I'm going to come back to Croke Park and I'm going to stay for the whole time in the All-Ireland final before I finish it.
His battles with Kerry began on the farm of his uncle, Bill Casey, winner of 4 All-Ireland medals with Kerry. At the end of the working day, the matches in the fields were, as Mullins described it, dog eat dog. What Mullins became and drove Dublin to be began in the fields of Kerry. And once again this year, Dublin's ambition was driven by Kerry. After the devastation of losing last year's All-Ireland football semi-final, Dublin mustered the cavalry for a final charge. Cluxton, Mannion, McCaffrey, Gilroy all returned, hooves pawing at the ground, armour glinting in the sun. For Dublin, this will endure into history among the most important of all their All-Irelands. For one thing, winning stopped not just Kerry's 2 in a row, but any notion of 3 in a row in 2024. At a time when talk of the gradual ending of a great team has quickened up, this was a day when the great ones stepped up again. Fenton, Conn, Fitzsimons, James McCarthy, among the very greatest dubs of the era, ascending the steps to receive the cup. And if the greats do begin to depart this autumn, this All-Ireland will grow in value as a visible reference point for Dublin through any hard times in the coming years.
Dublin are relegated to Division 2 for the first time since 1995.
I think we've got to be very honest, apart from Conn O'Callaghan, that's Dublin's strongest team. That's where we're at going into the championship.
Or a new Dublin will remember this victory as testament to the standards set by the greatest team of all time and how all Dublin teams must think and act and be. The choice is theirs. For Kerry, the expectation in victory or defeat never changes. Watching the Clifford brothers deal with the terrible grief of losing their mother with dignity and great courage, still delivering performances and moments of unimaginable brilliance, was a tribute to the life they learned at home.
It was the best way to honour their mother, and they did so in style.
But it also epitomised the culture of football that defines every Kerry team. Once again, they will lead out the pack in pursuit of Dublin next year, entirely of the belief that they can be caught. And before Dublin even think of Kerry, they will monitor Meath, harnessing the energy of their Tailteann Cup victory, and look to the half-dozen other teams gathering pace behind them.
They're calling it the most wide-open football championship we've had in years.
In a season of unsettling turbulence, from protests among the women's playing population for the most basic welfare rights, and arguments over matches bricked up behind the GAA Go paywall.
This can't be allowed to happen, that all major games, that they can't be seen by a certain cohort of the county.
To the state of Gaelic football itself. Too often this year, it was the new competition format's capacity to produce dramatic pairings and interesting group draws that kept the championship alive, not the football. That is something that cannot be left ignored. There was also the sudden passing of Liam Kearns, an All-Ireland medal winner with Kerry's Golden Years team in the mid-80s, and one of this century's greatest footballing evangelists, bringing joy to thousands of people across the country.
And in years to come, there'll be hundreds of thousands of people from Tipperary who will claim they were here to see them take their place in the last 4.
But the summer will be remembered as Dublin's. 8 All-Irelands in 11 years. Kerry unseated again from their throne, and all the tribes amassed behind them both, chasing hard.
Today belongs to Dublin. Silver Wars returns to the capital.
However the future unfolds, Dublin will just enjoy the now.